Hi everyone, I'm Noah, and today I'm going to be talking about how I made my AI calendar assistant feel more human. So, quick introduction. Once again, my name's Noah. I am a startup founder at a small startup that's working on AI-generated marketing campaigns. That's not the discussion topic for today. Instead, I'm going to talk about my personal project called CalAd. That is a assistant for Google Calendar. So, anybody here who uses Google Calendar, could you raise your hand? Okay, that's like most of the room. Okay, perfect. I have a good big market to sell this to. So, this form right here, you guys probably would be very familiar with. There's a lot of fields on here, and I don't really like it because sometimes I only need to use like one or two things, and then I have to navigate through all this, right? So I was thinking, could there be a way to improve upon this UI? And in my brainstorming, I was thinking, if that was the worst case scenario, then the best case scenario is having a person you hire, like a personal assistant that does all your calendar stuff for you, and you can just tell them, reschedule this, do that, right? But unfortunately, that's not a very plausible solution for most people, so I was thinking, why don't we try to replicate that using AI as closely as possible? So in order to do that, when I designed my app, I've done several things. The first one is the brand voice. So instead of talking like a robot, which sometimes ChatGPT and other LLMs do, I prompted it specifically so that it talks in a very friendly and kind of casual manner and uses a lot of emojis. You can see that here. That's the first thing that I did. And the second thing is with the onboarding. So I'm sure most of you are familiar with like onboarding, UI, UX. It's like when you first sign up to an app, they need certain information about you to get started. So for my case, it was like their name and their default calendar and their default time zone. But instead of using a form, I created this kind of live chat interface where basically CalAd just talks to you and asks you about the information that it needs. And everything that it says is customized to that interaction. So here, because the time zone is Tokyo, it put a Tokyo Tower. But depending on like if it was in New York, it might put an Empire State Building, and then what you type in here is going to shape like the rest of the onboarding process going forward. So that's the second thing. Oops, I hit it twice. And the third thing is the email integration. So I wanted to make it like you can email CalAd, like you email a person or an assistant. And so there's like a contact card. You can download this and put it in your contacts. And once you do that, you can email CalAd. You can forward, like for example, here I forwarded a itinerary for my flight. And then I said, put this in my calendar, and it responds with a custom written, like AI generated, but custom written response. And I tried to make it as like similar to when you email a person as possible. So that's why the text is like unstyled. And then there's like an email signature like a professional would have. And finally, the third thing that I did was I brought this concept over to my advertising. So previously I had this kind of bold or typical ads that are like effortless event management. CalAd simplifies scheduling for busy professionals and remote teams globally. And my CTR, my click-through rate, which is like what % of the people who see the ad click on it, wasn't very good. So I changed it so it's like CalAd is talking to you. So this is like, let me plan your day. I'm your assistant. Help me let you manage your calendar, stuff like that. And the click-through rate went up by like 3x. So that was great. Here's a quick takeaway. If you're ever design like AI first UX or AI products, I have a suggestion for you, which is don't ask what can your product do, but how does it make somebody feel? Because having something that's useful can bring users onto your platform, but to keep them on, like keep them retention, it's good to have like a good experience, a good kind of human touch, I guess. So that's all I have for today. This link goes to CalAd, and where you can just put that's the domain cal.ad. If you'd like to try my app, and then otherwise I'd also love to connect with you on LinkedIn. Here's the QR code for that. All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.